So we got a couple Conor McGregor stories to cover. One about the Limp Bizkit Dublin concert, what happened there, and then the other is that Conor McGregor is now looking at going on Joe Rogan's podcast, potentially a last ditch effort to gain a bit of his reputation back, gain whatever fans he can. So we're gonna go into it, and also after we get through all this, I kind of want to go through the whole Connor saga and how we got here. But without further ado, I'm gonna stop wasting your time. We start off here with an Instagram post from Conor McGregor 2 days ago saying who's going to be at the Limp Bizkit concert tomorrow night, and I'll be bang in the center of the mosh pit if anyone's looking for the jaw broke. And then he sent, typical Connor, got 200,000 likes. Going through the comments, it's mixed. You got Shama. Um, I remember my first mosh pit. That's so important though. So then we get to the actual concert, and this is a clip from the concert where Limp Bizkit shouts out Connor. And remember, this is in Dublin, Ireland. Um, you know, Conor McGregor territory, but let's watch. It sounds like you're in love with Conor McGregor here. And I'll be straight with you. From what I heard, he's actually out there right now. John Otto, let's go. All right, so you saw that clip right there. He had Fred Durst, the man, the myth, the legend. By the way, Limp Bizkit, I fuck with Limp Bizkit hard. I've been a fan of them ever since I was a young little kid, man. Still to this day, I have a ton of their songs in my playlist. But you see that reaction there. You see the boos in the crowd the moment he says Connor's name. And for Connor, again, this is his home crowd. This is his home country. And that's the response he gets. He didn't get that response after punching an old man. He didn't get that response after throwing a trolley into the bus at UFC. Was that two? Was that two? Not 209. So one of you remember which card exactly it was, but it was one with Khabib. I think that was one of the ones where Khabib versus Ghostfight Tony. Or it might have been Ally Quinta that he ended up fighting. Either way, you had that, you had the old man at the bar incident, you have all these incidents, but when these serious lawsuits come out about assault and that stuff, and the detail in those cases, those are serious accusations, man. And I've gone on and on. I made so many videos about the Nikita Handroff. If you haven't seen them, go watch them. My opinion, and this is my opinion, I think she's full of shit. I think that her story makes no sense. Her story changed basically everybody who she told that story to, from the cop who interviewed her before the lawsuit years ago, to her ex fiance, to her friends, to the other girl that was in that room, you know, all that stuff. I won't get into that. But it's brutal. This is not only a celebrity, but one of the, like, when you look at Connor, one of the biggest names in our era is Conor McGregor because of the foot fight. because of him doing Roadhouse, because of him in the UFC. Like Conor McGregor is he is his own enterprise. His name is a company. He owns multiple companies. But this is brutal, dude. Like he was loved for 10 years. Over 10 years. He had nothing but love. He had haters, but the fans always um drew out the haters. The cheers outweighed the boos and that. But this is where we're at. And now after that, literally the day after, we have this story, which is the main topic I want to address in this video. Conor McGregor takes his appearance on Joe Rogan podcast. This is a very quick one. Um, yeah, fuck it. We'll read the article. As we know, Conor McGregor is a pretty controversial figure in the world of mixed martial arts. He's been at the very top of the sport, and he's experienced some pretty dramatic woes at this point. It's nearly, it's been nearly 4 years since we've seen the Irishman compete in the octagon when he broke his leg against Dustin Poirier. Since then, there's been a lot of focus on the troubles that Conor McGregor has had in his personal life. Because of that, and some questions of whether or not he's even interested in competing again. Others, meanwhile, feel as if Notorious has a point to prove to his critics. Then he recently tweeted this out. What's up, Joe Rogan? My man, I messaged you. Are you looking for a guest on the podcast? I have a great one for you. Now, obviously, I don't think he's setting somebody else up. I think he's referring to himself. Then they say, regardless of whether you love Connor or hate him, there's no denying his star power. While the UFC doesn't exclusively need him anymore due to how impactful their brand name is alone, Dana White will certainly entertain the idea of giving him at least one more fight. At least that's what you would think. Will we see Conor McGregor on JRE? I think that JRE is the biggest thing he can do. I think this is the best move for Conor McGregor to do. Now, a similar situation where somebody had the same allegations and they went on Joe Rogan and it changed the entire perception that people had of him. The big guy. You're not allowed to say his name on YouTube, even though he runs the country now. YouTube doesn't like his name, so I'm not going to say it. But big guy went on Joe Rogan a couple months later, you know, ended up outperforming what everybody expected from him. But yeah, I feel like that move for Conor McGregor right now is the best move he can make. I feel like we've never seen Conor McGregor sit down for a few hours out of character and just shot the shit and just said what he genuinely felt without the character. I'm not saying his character is completely unreal. There's aspects of his character that he has himself. We know this. We know how cocky he is, how arrogant he is. We've seen the anger. We've seen so many parts of Connor, you know, that we now believe is a genuine part of him. What would Conor McGregor sitting down for 3 hours, 2 hours, however long it is, and just going through what he's done since 2018? Because I think I considered him to be retired in 2018. Cowboy fight, he came back, looked really good. Cowboy was on a 7 fight win streak at the end of that. comeback against Khabib, or before that was the Khabib fight. He did come back from that. That was a year after the Floyd fight. He did look good, but Khabib, one of the greatest of all time. Then you get to the second Dustin fight. A nice Connor. A Connor we've never seen before. Very respectful. He's like, oh, yeah, I like the hot sauce. Dustin's like, I like Proper 12. Buddy in that. And then Connor gets knocked out. And we got the trilogy in the summer of that year. I think that was in 2021, right? Yeah. Then Dustin Poirier dominated that first time. He dominated. Any true fan of Connor knows the best rounds for Connor are the first and second. Anybody who is an objective Connor fan will agree with me on that point. You're not going to see him randomly come out in round 3, 4, or 5 with a burst of energy. He does have 5 round fights. He does have, a couple. I think his win against Mendes wasn't at 3 rounds, and then he won the second Nate fight, but he left on top of his sport. He made that money. He lived while he was living a life that most of us couldn't even imagine. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Potentially will become a billionaire if he isn't already. I know that he doesn't have Proper 12 anymore, but like he is business savvy. What would it be like to see Conor come out with, hey, you know what? I got in the UFC. I was on welfare. I was broke. I was on my last legs. I worked my way up. I made my character. Thanks to the UFC, I have a life that very few will ever come to have. And then I fucked around. Then I got on, all the stuff I was on. I did all the stuff I did. That's what I'm going to see from Connor. I don't think it would help him to just attack and deflect everything. But I don't know how much he's allowed to talk about the lawsuits, but I genuinely want to hear his point of view from it. I genuinely want to hear him talk about how I'm dying. No, just kidding. I want to hear him talk about that hidden footage that the court shut down. I know he's not allowed to show it, but who's going to stop him from saying anything about it? Right? That's what I want to hear from Connor. I want to see where Connor the person is at, not where Connor the character is at. After he is booed, good lord, after he was booed in his hometown. Well, I don't know if he's from Dublin, but he was booed in his home country. It's the only option he has. And I think the result of it could kind of be like a Donald Trump, where people sit down, they will watch that podcast, they will listen to him, they will listen to his side, and I think there will be more people than you think that would open their eyes to what's going on with Connor, because this all started after he announced he was running for president of Ireland. Isn't that strange to anybody else? But if he goes on there, plays his character, deflects everything, does all that, I think it does more damage. But I think the upside to it is far greater than the risk. But let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about Conor being booed at a Limp Bizkit concert in Ireland? And what do you think about Conor McGregor going on Joe Rogan? That would arguably be the second biggest podcast Joe Rogan will ever do. Well, let me know what do you think. And yeah, thanks for watching. Later.